I'm going to show you the coolest 15-inch MacBook Air and fix those fingerprint issues. Let's talk about it. Alright, so if you've been watching my channel, you'll know that I recently bought a 15-inch MacBook Air right here at midnight. And I got an incredible deal. This is the 16GB version, 512GB SSD. Go back and watch those videos, but frankly I got it for $13.99, a great sale at Best Buy. So I picked this up, obviously, but it wasn't the color that I wanted. So there was one issue with it. It's the midnight blue. Now the reason I don't want that, obviously, and everyone's talked about this before, is it's the fingerprint issues. Obviously, every time you use this thing, it looks like you've been through a bag of Frito-Lays, all right? There's grease everywhere, it's pretty gross. You just don't want to keep using this thing after you see it. I know it should be a minor problem, and I did know about that going in. I figured, hey, there's maybe some solutions out there, and I'm going to talk about those. So I ended up buying it, and it was an issue right off the bat. I'm just like, ugh, I don't like using it because of all that grease on your fingers and everything else. So I had to find a solution, and that's what this video is about. All right, so I went to the Apple Store when I was looking at this thing, and I noticed that your fingerprints don't show up as much at the Apple Store on the device. And I think they use a product called Whoosh or something like that. I'll put it here. I don't know if this is what they use. I think it is. I can't really find a whole bunch of information out. But I still saw a lot of fingerprints, and I saw them cleaning it like every 30 minutes or something just to make them look really nice in the store. So I figured that's a good kind of, intermediate solution, but it didn't fix the overall problem of the fingerprints on this beautiful midnight blue. All right, that brings me to skinning hardware, skinning a laptop. Before I actually got into this issue, I really never thought about skinning a laptop, especially an Apple laptop, because one of the reasons you buy it is how beautiful it looks. It's one of the best put together machines on the market. It just looks elegant, it's built well, and you just want to show it off as far as the colors and everything else. So whether it's the midnight blue, the starlight, the silver, the space gray, they all look great, and you really don't want to cover them. But there had to be a solution which was kind of like a, in between, where I liked it enough where it actually was just as nice looking as the original, but it did help with a lot of different factors. That's what I'm looking for, and that's what I found. All right, so I looked into skinning the MacBook again, and I went through a whole bunch of videos, and I was kind of afraid, can I actually do this and make it look good? Is it gonna look bad? Is it gonna have bubbles on it? Is it hard to do? So I started looking at all that. And I looked at the regular players first. I looked at a company called Dbrand. You've probably heard about them. They advertise everywhere. And they're like one of the big players on MacBook skins. And they have a really good skin, obviously. And if you find one you like, I'm sure it'll work good there. But I didn't find one I actually liked there. I kept looking and looking, and I kept trying to find a company that I found, the skin that really worked well with this color. This is midnight blue, and you need kind of a bluish type skin that matches the overall feel of the laptop. Obviously, the sides of it, and I didn't skin the top of it. As you can see, you can't see it yet. But I didn't skin up here. I didn't skin the sides. You can't really skin the sides. So it has to look good overall when it's closed. And that's what I was looking for, and I think I finally found it. All right, so after my long search, I found a place called Fish Skins, all right? And it's actually spelled a little differently. It's FISHSKYN.com. So it's actually fishskin.com, not fish skins, but fishskin.com. And here's the website right here. I'll have a link in the description to this. You guys can go in the description and find this. But this is the company I found for the MacBooks, and I found the perfect skin from this company. All right, so when I show you this, I'm going to go through the look and feel of it first of all. Then I'm going to tell you if it improves grip on this, if it helps with scratches and all that kind of stuff. How was the experience of installing it? Was it difficult? Was it not difficult? So without further ado, we're going to get into this. I'm going to kind of unveil it, and then we're going to go through a whole bunch of this stuff to see how easy this was. And you have to tell me, do you really like this? Because I love it. All right, and before I show you one last thing, there is a 10% discount on this, so I actually have a coupon code you can go to. I'll have it in the link in the description. But full disclosure, they didn't find me. I found them. I actually found this first, and I liked it so much that I went out and I said, hey, do you guys have an affiliate program? So I kind of wrapped it back in. So they didn't find me. I found them because I liked it. And now again, always say, like, when you put a skin on, it's your own risk. Obviously, they say it comes out very easily, and it should, but just keep that in mind. I'm not responsible. Do your own research. And then without further ado, here it is. All right, so what do you guys think? Here it is right here at my desk. Now I think this is such an elegant type skin on this thing because it matches perfectly the blue color of the Midnight Blue. You can see the front of it. It's obviously this white, and it goes from kind of a bluish color into the white with some kind of a tree design in there, a little bit more nature. And on the side of it, you can see, I'll show you some close-ups, but it's obviously matches perfectly the edges of the actual MacBook there. And then the back is very similar to the front, like I had showed you before. It's right there, so it's really easy to stick the back on as well. Now, a couple things about this right off the bat is the color matching is just perfect. It does show the Apple logo, so when you're carrying this around or when you're using it, people come up to you all the time. In fact, I had 5 people in the last couple of weeks come up to me and say, hey, listen, what is that thing? Is that, where did you get that from? Stuff like that. So people like this. I don't know what it is. I think it's just it's just different, I think. Now, a couple of things about the skin as well, the reason I like it so much. First of all, it does give a little bit of a grip, right? So there's no problem there. You're going to get extra grip from this. Before it was a little slippery when I carried it around with no case. And here it's got a little bit of grip. Now, granted, this is not going to be as good as a case, so you're not going to get the protection maybe from a case, but I just don't like the way cases look. It covers up the entire system. Even with clear plastic, it just looks kind of cheap. This looks very elegant. It's very, very thin, so it adds almost no size to the MacBook as well. I mean, it's maybe a millimeter thick, but it is very robust. So I have no scratches on it. I've been using this for about 3 weeks now, and it shows almost no wear. In fact, it shows 0 wear. No corners are bent up. Now, one of the cool things about this, again, is it comes like a millimeter too small around the edges. So when you make sure you put this on, and I'll get into that in a second, you basically want to stick it on, and you want to make sure it doesn't go over the edge. They make it like that on purpose so that you can't really catch it and bring it up later. There's a little bit of give on the edges here so that it actually sticks on and it stays on. And to my last 3 weeks, it stayed on perfectly. Not one edge has come up. It's just been flawless, all right? And like I said, it offers enough protection against scuffs and scrapes and stuff like that. But obviously, if you drop it, it's not going to protect it. But for just putting it down, I don't have to worry about putting it on a table anymore like this or moving it around, putting it on the other side. It's perfect for me. It fixes the problem of me, kind of just the fingerprints in general. This color, this white color and whatever the material is, it shows 0 fingerprints, even on the dark. So you have no issues with that anymore. It also gives you, like I said, the grip and everything like that, and it just matches perfect. So there's absolutely no complaints with this, after I tried it. And I was always afraid of trying a skin, but overall, I think it works perfect. And then the best part about it is, again, this is coming from the manufacturer. You do your own research. I'm not responsible if you do try this. But it does, I've watched videos on it, it does come really, quickly off as well. You have to use a little force, but it shouldn't leave any residue. So you can always go back to the original color. Now, putting this on it took me about 10 minutes, not even, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. It's really a lot easier than you think. All you do is it comes in sheets and you put down the corners on the edges, and then you tear a little bit off the back. There's like a backing on it. You tear just a little piece off of it, you line it up, and then you basically go ahead and smooth out just a little bit of it. And then you kind of tear off a little bit more and then smooth it as you're kind of coming down. And you basically make sure it's smooth and get all the bubbles out as you're working your way down. And everything should line up once you have the corners lined up. Like I said, you want to keep the corners just barely off the edges, and then everything, including the logo here that still shows, should line up perfectly. It took me about 10 minutes or so. The back was maybe a little more difficult because of these little feet, like the holes here. You got to kind of use some force around them. And it shows it's not going to come off. I can tell you that right now. I've even picked at it a little bit just to see. It's really kind of robust there, and it's worked really well. I think what they tell you is, when you take it off, it's going to need a lot of force. You're going to kind of be shocked by how much, but it should not damage the MacBook. And again, you do your own research, but they say you can also add a little bit of heat, maybe with a heat hair dryer or something, and it'll come off a little bit more easy. But you can switch these out, every so often. Also for resale value, this completely avoids any scratches on it and stuff like that. So you can take this off when you sell it, and then you don't have to worry about that. All right, really quickly on the website, you can see it right here. Here's the model I got. It's called Banff, or Banff. I guess that's the actual Canadian mountains. I don't know how to say it, Banff. It's the MacBook Skin, $30. This is just the top for $30, but you can get a discount in that discount code I gave you in the description. But you can choose like the top, and the bottom, which is $38. Again, you get discounts on this. And then top, inside, and bottom. The inside would be the inside. I didn't do my inside because I just didn't kind of like the way it looked. But you can also do the inside of the MacBook inside of here as well, which will actually make it look completely different as well. If I can find something, I'll put it right up there. You can see over here now how that would look if you want to do that. I don't much care for that, on the inside. I like the way it looks like this, so I just didn't do it. It's extra money as well. But overall, you can pick and choose. They do give a lot of discounts. Like if you buy 2 of them at once, they give you like a percentage off the other one. So overall, you do get a lot of discounts. And then if you go back in here and you go to MacBooks here, you can see here and you click on it, it does cover a whole bunch of MacBooks, not just the 15-inch. You can see in here all these different designs that are pretty crazy. check this out. So there's 2 pages of designs. I'm just going to go through them really quickly. Here's the one that I did. This is a big, really common one over here. There's a lot of retro designs. I mean, definitely in here. There's other ones that are just flat colors like this if you want to just go ahead for full protection. There's a lot of retro. Here's another retro one. And there's some other ones that are a little more funky with like waves and stuff. I don't like those particularly, but you know, some people might. Here's another retro one. But you can get, here's a black one with some stripes on it. Here's kind of a cool black, you know, brown, green, and kind of a tan color. But as you can see, there's plenty to choose from in here. Here's a yellow one. And overall, I just, you know, I love the design of this, and I love the way that these things work. You know, no bubbles on it, nothing. I had no problems at all installing this. And I just think it makes the MacBook look super elegant when you're walking around with it. And it's a huge conversation piece. A lot of people, like I say, come up and ask you, where did you get that? What is that? Is that a new MacBook? Or how, you know, they see the Apple logo, but they don't know what's going on. It's just that unique. I've seen skins before, but I think this one's probably one of the best for the Midnight. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. I mean, if you want something that's super thin, it offers some protection, obviously not drop protection, but it completely gets rid of the fingerprints, looks elegant as a conversation piece, and it doesn't really make anything bulky. So I love this thing. And if you're looking for that, this is a perfect skin for it. Again, it's from Fish Skins, and I'll have a link in the description. I didn't go out. I went to them and asked them. They didn't come to me, so I completely found this product on my own. And I love it, but like I said, do your own research. There's a lot of different manufacturers out there. This is just one that I thought was, you know, just really matched the fingerprint one, which is the Midnight Blue. And I couldn't find one that really, you know, went as well like this one did and still kept it very elegant. You tell me in the comments, is this a win or is this something you wouldn't do? I didn't think I would do it, but trust me, once you do it, you kind of get some freedom here with just not worrying about scratching this thing all the time. And like I said, it's just something that I probably never would have done until I got to this issue, but I did it and I like it. So anyways, check it out. And again, we'll wrap this up. Please subscribe if you can. I have like 600 Mac videos. I do all these weird topics from small companies. I like to try to help out like this, the things I try. So subscribe if you can, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.